So this is exciting. So like you said, my name is Timirah James, and I'm all the way from Los Angeles. And yeah, so I'm a developer advocate at a company called Cloudinary. I'll tell you what we do in just a second, but I'm going to talk to you about going serverless with Swift using Vapor. Here we go. Who am I? Okay, and I want to explain who I am for a couple reasons. One, so you understand the perspective and my expertise as far as Vapor goes, or experimenting with ServerSide.swift. So most of my career I spent as an iOS engineer, self-taught, and then professionally. And then I wandered into evangelism. And that's how I became a developer advocate. I'm also the founder of a meetup group that will soon be a nonprofit. It's called Technigal LA. And basically we teach women of all ages how to code. We expose them to other opportunities in STEM, such as design and anything to do with learning opportunities, employment opportunities, networking opportunities surrounding STEM. We specialize in that. I also recently just joined the video team at RayWenderlich.com. Yay! So look out for a course from me in the near future. And as he just mentioned, I'm also a singer-songwriter. So yeah, so if we have some time, I might play a couple of seconds at the end. The name of the song is called Coderitis. Okay, yes. Okay, cool. Here we go. Little bit about Cloudinary. So I had a few conversations with some of you about what Cloudinary does, but if you don't know about Cloudinary, basically we do end-to-end media management, right? So everything from cloud storage to delivery. We have a delivery via a multi-layer CDN, and we do media manipulation. So everything from accessibility features to resizing to, and we give all of these capabilities to our customers to be able to, control these assets in real time from the back end. So we're like a back end as a service. Also, we have, that's our little mascot, the dabbing unicorn. And we have a developer program called the Media Developer Experts Program. So if any of you are doing anything interesting involving mobile and images, processing, performance with mobile, or you're doing something creative, or you're known for putting out content surrounding anything around media, please come see me, let you know about the program and hook you up with some cool swag and all of the above. All right. Just a bit of a rundown. So first and foremost, I'm going to take you on a journey. So the progression of the Swift language, Swift versus your favorite backend, or more popular languages that are used as a backend language. Some of those benefits, and then we'll get into a quick intro to Vapor, and we'll ultimately build our own serverless app. And the basis of this talk, I just really want you to be excited about the reason that we're here, Swift on the server, and be able to use Vapor. So I'm sort of like a unofficial advocate for Vapor. It was my first introduction to Swift on the server. And I want you to be able to be comfortable enough to say, oh, this is easy. I can get started today, and I can build something really simple with Vapor. And so it begins. 2014, a queen was born. Her name was Swift. Okay, and she was all the rage. Oh my gosh, Apple developers all around the globe, we were terrified, for one. Oh my gosh, can they do that? Can they do that? The Objective-C has been around for over 3 decades, and now you spring this new language on us, and yes, it looks clean, and it looks, oh my goodness, should we try this? Oh. But we did. We tried it. And lo and behold, it was something that became really, really popular in our community really quickly. And there's several reasons for this. But the key element here is it was overall sexy. What made it sexy? Syntax, for one. Oh, this was something that was clean. It wasn't super verbose. It was, we didn't have those, those crazy brackets or like asterisks for pointers and all this stuff. The semicolons. So this was like, whoa, this was a little bit of a shock because, we're known for all this, using all this boilerplate type, code to execute things. And here, this is clean, this is concise. So I would say it's a fair transition from Objective-C, right? Surprisingly, I still do talks convincing and encouraging some Objective-C developers to come on over to the other side, okay? Percentage is very small, but it happens. But overall, syntax was clean, very readable, very legible to us, right? And to newer programmers who were coming on into the iOS and the Apple community. And this was a very protective language, right? So preventing, memory leaks and ultimately resulting in faster performance. But not everybody was so convinced, right? And mainly because there's this, and it's awkward because there's some Apple folks in the room, but there is this theory. I call it the King Apple theory, right? And that is you build for Apple products with Apple products on Apple IDEs using Apple languages. All for Apple and Apple for Apple. So, there's this thing where, they're like, people aren't so, newer programmers, they have this hard time of, kind of melting in with us. So it was off-putting to a lot of devs outside of the Apple community. In 2015, something happened. What happened in 2015? We went open sourced. Oh my goodness. Why was this such a crazy thing? Because this was Apple. Oh my gosh. Oh, transparency. Oh my goodness. This was amazing. This was like, oh my gosh, developers were so relieved. They were so happy. They were so just elated that, this was Apple's new precious language, and they trusted the developer. This was very new, so they trusted the developer community to build it, to have influence, to have some form of control, and it really, really made us feel like we are truly, truly a community. Today, and I just took this screenshot, just updated just to make sure yesterday, almost 100,000 commits to date, okay, to Swift. Over 700 contributors, okay? So that just goes to show how much traction this got. This is like 5 years. We're 5 years into Swift now, and all of this participation, all of this collaboration, all for this language. So, over the years, so there was Swift, and then, we had Swift 2. And basically, we have these trends. And if we look at the trends, we look at the patterns in which, Swift has been built, you can see, both by Apple's doing and the community's doing, how, what we can attribute this progress, this seemingly overnight progress and growth to be. So, for one, so in 2015, it was the introduction of Guard and Guardlet, protocol extension. So yeah, so this is safety, right? So there's an emphasis on safety here. Okay, Swift 3, function parameter labels, attributes for C functions. Okay, so syntax. Okay, so we're trying to keep it as clean and concise as possible. Okay. Codable protocol, conditional conformances. Okay, so we're seeing what the trend is, right? So again, we can attribute the growth, this rapid growth of Swift to safety, syntax, and speed. Okay. Then we have API stability that was introduced in Swift 5. And again, so now we're focusing on performance, convenience, legibility, and now stability, okay? And, you know, if you kind of watch the community or you stay in the trends, you know that API stability, we had been fighting for this since at least Swift 3, right? So this was really, really important. And again, all of these different changes, major changes, you can see, again, you can attribute these changes to, attribute the growth to these huge milestones. People were still like, I don't see it for Swift. No, I don't see it. I don't see what all the hype is about, you know, and these are people outside of the developer community, right? So we're telling all our peers, oh my gosh, Swift is oh, and people are like, yeah, okay. Yeah, you know, so we have this thing where we're so excited about something and it's hard to convey it to people who, again, they have very established communities, they're already using, you know, very supported languages, and they're kind of stuck in their ways, especially, you know, like back-end developers, you know, and they don't want to hear about some new language that, you know, again, it's a mentality thing, because when people think of Swift, they think mobile, they think iOS, they think Apple, right? So they're not trying to hear about the excitement or things like that. You know, so no matter how much you try to convince your managers, you know, even people coming from the Objective-C side as well, you might have been trying to convince, hey, you know, Swift is a new thing. There are some companies that are still kind of, you know, wary, you know, of, you know, migrating things, and, you know, so again, you have people making this face. They're like, nope, not hearing it. So I said, you know what? Okay, that's fair. Okay, so let's test it. Okay, don't take our word for it. Okay, put it to a test. Okay, one test, so test it against whatever whatever your favorite back-end language is. Let's go ahead and put Swift up against it. Okay. So the more popular, of course, Node.js, there's Ruby, there's Java. I actually found this site, it's a benchmarks game, and basically it tests Swift against these other languages, and runs these different algorithms, right? So hold on, let's see, let me make sure I can open that. Am I able to open? Oh. Maybe I have to pause this. Hold on one second. See if I can switch screens really quickly. Let's see, I can open this. Okay. Cool, you're able to see that? Okay. So, benchmarks game, okay. Which programming language is the fastest? All right, we're going on speed, okay? So let's click on Swift. Okay, so here you are. So you have these different algorithms, have these different programs, right? And you're running them in Swift, and then you're running them in these other languages, right? So everything from speed to memory usage to CPU load. I mean, Swift is, for the most part, dominating in all of these, for the most part. Right? But you have to give it a fair chance, give it a fair test, right? So there's Java, okay? Let's see. Even Go, let's try Go. There's Go. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so again, it's a mentality. It's getting people out of this mentality that Swift is only, you know, related to iOS or Apple. Again, because people have this idea of, you know, the King Apple theory, right? So it was created by Apple, so it only must be related to Apple, and it must only work for Apple. Therefore, I'm not interested, you know? So let's go back to our slides here. Okay, boom. So you can test it, right? But it all depends on your priorities, right? So I was just at a conference last week, and they were like, I don't really care much about speed. You know, if it works, it's good. If I'm not trying to build, you know, these big complex, you know, scaling to 1 million, I'm not really caring about this. Okay, so what is your priority? Is it memory? You know, is what is your priority as a developer? Okay, and continuing on with the sequence, by the end of 2015, December 2015 to be exact, the unthinkable happened. Server side, okay? So Perfect was the first to come out in 2015. And this was amazing, right? Why was this amazing, right? Several things. For one, taking people out of that mentality, okay, oh, this is for Apple, this is for, okay? So transcending beyond just Apple into the serverless realm, okay? Adding end-to-end capabilities, right? So forget people, okay, people outside of the Apple community, right? What does this mean for Apple developers? Okay, this means so much because now we're seen as so niche, you know, everything, Swift is niche, iOS developers, we're niche. Now we're able to step outside of that and actually become full stack using Swift. So this was a huge, this added so much value just to the average Apple developer. And then just, again, in addition to developers who are outside of the community. So this meant so much, so many things at once, right? Oh, is this going? Okay, I'm missing a slide. I don't know. But what's the purpose of this? Okay, we know the significance. What's the purpose? Okay, how does this work exactly? So basically, works just like any web API, and it's basically again enabling you to build something end to end if you're building for mobile applications, right? And then also if you are a backend developer, again, giving you access to the capabilities and the strength and the might of Swift, okay? So you can use Swift to create RESTful APIs, and it gives you kind of control over, that communication back and forth and transferring the data. Okay, there we go. Okay, so right now these are a few, right? There are some other server-side Swift frameworks that are probably some smaller things that people have played around with. I'm sure there are some being developed as we speak, but Perfect being the first. Of course, we have Katura. We heard from Ian yesterday. Vapor, which we're going to be speaking on. And Swift Engine is actually a turnkey serverless Swift platform for app development. So it actually was created by some friends of mine who are lecturers and professors at USC. Okay. So why am I getting into Vapor? We have these different frameworks. Yeah, what's so special about Vapor? Vapor, as of now, it's pretty much the most popular framework, okay? And how do we measure popularity? It could be by reviews, commits, support, which they're widely known for, you know. I'm sure the Vapor team is smiling in the back, you know. But they're definitely known for being very, very supportive when it comes to their community, right? And in turn, when you're supportive for your community provides support. So when you're as widely used as that, and you're able to have people who are supportive, people who are responsive when people are having issues, you know, people who are just active and passionately trying to, you know, contribute and build a proper ecosystem, then you will get those kinds of stats and reviews, right? So overall community adoption. Okay, Vapor has just over 17,000 stars on GitHub, I believe. And yeah, a large responsive community. It's definitely known for its speed, and it's easy to use, very easy to get started. And it's the only framework that is actually purely written in Swift. Okay, so which is great because, you know, it keeps everything in line in terms of you know, readability, when it comes to like naming conventions and things of that sort. It just keeps everything aligned with the language and everything really simple. So enough. Let's just get started. Let's get right in. All right. Cool. All right. So there's several components that I'm going to introduce to you. There's so many different components when it comes to Vapor. One is Fluent, okay? So Fluent is basically an object relational mapping tool that handles database interactions, okay? Works great with Swift, of course, and it can integrate with MySQL, SQLite, and of course MongoDB. And it makes it easy, so you don't really have to remember an SQL query. So Fluent is definitely one of the more popular components when it comes to as far as being used by the community when it comes to Vapor. Leaf is another component, okay? Leaf is a templating library that allows us to make HTML-like pages and render them using Vapor. So yes, you can make a web page using Vapor. Yes. And it has a Swift-like syntax. And like I said, you can use this to generate a front-end website, and you can design it using CSS. And yeah, so enough. Let us try. Okay? So I'm going to walk through really quickly. All right, let's do a demo. Okay. Okay, boom. All right, so I'm starting from step one, okay? So now, I am you. You are now convinced, after attending my talk, that you should try Vapor, okay? So you're at home, step one, okay. First, I'll install Vapor, okay? Step two, oh, can you guys see this very clearly? Make sure you can see this. Can you see the text clear? Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, they're right. So now I want to let's build our hello world. Okay. So I've installed Vapor. So now we'll do Vapor new, and we'll call it we'll call it First Vapor App. First Vapor App. Boom. Okay. Oh, what's going on? Let's see. So I'm in desktop. Okay. Oh, I did a demo already. Okay. All right, let's do Vapor new second Vapor app. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. So our app has been created. Okay, how do we know? Should we just trust this? All right, so let's do Vapor run. And I'm just doing this locally, by the way. Vapor build. Oh, what's this app? Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's do, what is it? Second Vapor app. Okay. Okay. Shouldn't take more than a few seconds. All right, so what we're doing here, let me make sure my mic is, okay. So what we're doing here is, all right, the app is created. We got to build it, all right? So we're going to build it and run. Okay, and okay, well, you had to live code it, huh? Okay, here we go. Let's do this. Okay, so let's pretend that that is built, okay? Because we're running short on time already. So let's pretend that's built, okay? Oh, it is built. All right. All right, now let's just run. Okay, so localhost. It works. Yeah, but what works? Where is it coming from? How did that happen? Okay, so let's find out. Okay, hold on. Let's find out what's going on, okay? We'll do Vapor Xcode. Okay, so that is generating our Xcode project. Okay, so, oh my goodness, what is this? HTML. All right, there we go, my second Vapor app, okay? That's indexing. So, as you can see, if you're coming from an iOS background, right, this is your first introduction to Vapor, first introduction to ServerSide.swift, and you're like, oh my gosh, when I open Xcode, where are there's no view controllers, there's no this, there's no that. All right, so the first thing you notice is the different folders in the navigation panel, okay? So, I want to take you over to this app module right here. Let's see. First, okay, let's do package.swift. Okay, this is basically managing your package, right? This is where all your dependencies are going to be. So when you first run your application, this is what you're going to see. So it's already initialized with the Fluent SQLite dependency, as well as Vapor, right? And you can add on different things, right? So there's the HTTP package. There's so many you can add on, right? Okay, cool. All right. So I'm gonna run through this quickly. Here we go. Here's where we make an instance of our application. I want to pull you down to this. Okay. So this is where you do your configuration. So when you're registering, when you do have other packages, you would register them here. So for example, try services .register a SQLite provider. So this is an activation, right? This is configuring our Fluent SQLite. And routes, okay? So when you open your Xcode project, when you open your app, you start off with this, boilerplate like this, starter to-do controller, okay? So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna scratch all this, and you see, this is where our it works come from. Oh, this is where it's been returned, okay? So just going off of that, let us, let's do first web app. Okay. Here we go. So here's an app. Here's a demo I built, right? So packages. So you see I added a new package, and that is Leaf, okay? So I'm going to show you. There's not a lot of content on how to use Leaf, so this is why I wanted to introduce you to this as well, okay? First, I want to address the routers, okay? So you see it's really simple, right? If you went to the Vapor workshop, you kind of went over, you know, the different methods, you know, how to, I'm sure you probably went over like the to-do controller and like, you know, replacing this with like get and put, delete, but we're gonna focus on getting, right? So we have this hello world. What is this doing? This is creating our first endpoint, right? So hello. So if we do localhost 8080 \hello, this will return hello there, okay? So really simple, the Swift syntax, right? Take a look down here. So what if we don't want a fixed output, right? We want to take in some user input, okay? So if we do greet, or if we do, let's say, let's change this to flavor. Okay, and we want to say, let's do, and we say favorite flavor of ice cream is, and we'll return flavor here. Okay, so yep, all right. All right, let's go back to our local host. Let's refresh this. Okay, let's do, we said flavor. And let's give this a flavor. We can say vanilla. Flavor ice cream is vanilla. Okay? So, now we're taking in values. Okay, and I really want to get to this Leaf project before. So, several things. So, how do you get to Leaf, right? Oh my gosh, building a front end for a website. Okay, so how do we do that? All right, so, like I said, we added the Leaf package here in our package.swift. Okay, made sure it was configured here. Let's see, have Leaf here. And then this is what's happening right here. This config.prefer. This .prefer means I'm making a preference here. I'm saying, hey, I need this Leaf renderer. I need this to take over the priority. I need this to be top priority and be the first view that I see. Okay? So let's see. Then we go to our route. Okay. You see, we're requesting this parameter in here. Like, what is this? What is this home page here, right? So what I've done is, in order to create a Leaf file, I've created this new folder, resources, right? With a subfolder views, and basically created this new file, and everything has been done manually. So literally, you know, new file, Swift file, name it to homepage, and change it from .swift to .leaf, okay? And making sure that, okay, we have HTML as a syntax. Okay, so this is some code that I've already written up. Okay, so basically there's just a header, and this is actually an image that'll be produced by Cloudinary. And if you look at the parameters, this is how this image was transformed in real time. So everything from there's like a layover, there's some rounding going on, there's a tent. So, all right, and then we have a little button here. So, yeah. I love Vapor. So we're expecting an alert. Okay. So let's try it out. Okay. So. Oh crap. Got this F here. Boom. Okay. So we've got puppy love, and then we've got our button here. Click me. I love Vapor. All right. And just like that. Okay. So many different things you can do, right? So somebody asked about security. There's like a crypto component. There's authentication. There's so many different layers when it comes to Vapor, right? Let's go back to our slides really quickly. And this project and all the slides will be available in this link. This link here, which I will tweet out. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. So, what I said all this to say, I said a lot. Said a lot of the same things, right? Oh, Swift's so great. Everybody needs to adopt it. It's a mentality thing. We get it, you know. So what do we see? Like, where do I see this going? Okay, Vapor is great. You know, even Couture is great. Even having server side, Swift on the server is great. What is it? Why am I here? Okay, because there's so much potential. There's so much more. Again, Swift is only 5 years old. Okay, it's easy to read. Open source, type safe. Now it's on the server. Swift microservices, containerization. We've seen it all, right? OpenStack has a Swift stack. They have like a Swift stack architecture. So now you can like run Swift on OpenStack if anybody's familiar with that. So there's so much to look forward to. And we're saying, hey, that's how we want it, okay? Finally, we need to get the Swift. If Swift gets the credit that it deserves, we will get the credit that we deserve, and it will the value will be shown that much more, okay? Someone asked me about the cloud, and so I didn't deploy anything today, but I just learned that Vapor has a cloud now, okay? So this Vapor Cloud. I have not tried this out, but I think this is really interesting to explore. So able to build something on Vapor and then deploy into the Vapor Cloud, okay? So again, that just goes to show like the potential. Vapor is just continuing to grow and blossom. Here's some other resources that you can find. Of course, you can go to vapor.codes to get started. You can go to GitHub. There's Vapor Academy. Tim has some great content on Vapor as well, and so Ray Wenderlich, and yeah. So next time they ask you, what kinds of things do you build? Just say yes. And thank you. That is all.